Hey guys, I'm back for another installment of That One Doll Tag. And since I just did his significant other, I'm going to do Sylas. Sylas is one of my favorite dolls. He's really grown on me over the years. Silas's full name is Sylas Arlo Graves. The first two names, or the first name and his last name, are from couple of people that I knew in high school in my art class that I really admired. So Sylas, I spell it with a Y, but there was a guy named Sylas, and he did these really cool comics and stuff like that, and he was in one of my art class. He didn't really know me, but I thought his name was cool, and I admired him. And then there was another girl whose last name was Graves, and she was kind of like a senpai or something, just like this older girl. I only talked to her a few times, and she probably didn't even notice me, but I thought she was cool. And since Sylas is kind of an artistic character, I thought that would be cool to incorporate those two names. Arlo is his middle name, and I just kind of used that name because I thought it was kind of an odd name, and you don't hear it very often. And I like odd names for their middle names. I didn't realize until later that his initials are SAG, but I was like, oh, that's really nice of his mom to give him the initial SAG, but everybody will just guess at what his middle name is, and he doesn't tell anybody unless they're like close friends. So anyway, the second question is what sculpt is he, and why did you choose him? So he is a Midgey Yuri head on a an old Doll Family 63 body. I don't know if it's Doll Family H or Doll Family A, but they don't make it anymore. Um, I I was actually originally, when I was planning to get Silas as a character, I was planning to get him as a Midgey Cho, and I was kind of looking through the secondhand market, and there wasn't any Chos available, and I saw this one. For sale. I think he was like $350, and I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good, reasonable deal." Because if I buy him from Midgey, he's going to be around 500, and there was just something really special about this doll, and he really called out to me. And I went back to the sales thread a few times, and I kind of looked at the pictures and was like, I could get this doll right now, but am I gonna regret getting a Yuri instead of a Cho? Um, and I went for it because I was like, he's just really speaking to me, and I'm super glad I did because I still really love Cho, but this doll sculpt has really worked for the character. So he was my first secondhand doll, and one of my favorite dolls. So it's kind of amazing how the dolls that you do the most planning for, it kind of falls through, and then the dolls that are just kind of an impulse buy can sometimes be like some of your favorites. So that really worked out in my favor in this case. Number three is how long have you had the doll? Silas got home March 3rd of 2012. So I've had a quite a while with him. Not as old as my 2008s, but he has been around for a while. Pros and cons of the doll. I love his face. I really love it for his character. His character is supposed to look younger than what he is. He's half Native American and half Mongolian. So he has the kind of how Asians and also Native Americans, they age very well. So and he has this rounded face. His character has kind of a round face. So the this sculpt really worked for him a lot. Um, the Most of the pros I have are with this head. The cons is mostly with the body because it's kind of a cheaper body, and I tried to mod the knees and kind of screw that up. So he has some epoxy under there, so he doesn't wear shorts or anything like that anymore. So actually, I'm going to replace the body. So I'm not a big fan of. Also, his hands on this body are kind of short and chubby, which actually kind of works for his character. He has really ugly little feet though, which I incorporated too. But everything The only thing that really sucks is I will have to redo his tattoos when I get him a new body, which is gonna be kind of time consuming, but that's okay. He's one of my favorite characters, and I think that he deserves the upgrade. So, let's see. The next question is, tell us about face-ups and mods you've done to the doll. He's had several face-ups. He arrived. I don't know how many he's had before I got him. When he arrived, he had like bright red eyebrows because he had red hair, and that got quickly wiped off. And he's the only thing that's really remained the same about Sylas is he has a little mole right here above his mouth. That's like his signature trademark. But his eyebrow shape has kind of evolved. I gave him kind of thicker eyebrows because I feel like he's kind of girly looking, so the thicker eyebrows makes him look more like a boy because he's got long hair and stuff too. So he does look kind of girly besides that, but he's not like delicately girly like he looks. So I felt like the thicker eyebrows expresses his character a bit better. I think this might be, I want to say like his fifth or sixth face up that I've done. I love working on this doll, so he gets a lot of face ups. I'm sure I'll give him several more. Um, Mods, like I said, I screwed up his knee, and these knees like to collapse, so I tried to mod them, and I did eventually get it to where they have kind of locks on the back so they don't collapse as much. But mostly his tattoos. Two he has tattoos on his. Get off me. He has tattoos here on his arms. They're like little tribal ones. He has one on his right arm that's longer, and then he has a shorter one on the left. He also has a tattoo on his neck that goes down, and it goes all the way up to his like neck joint. And then he has one, which I'm not gonna show, but he has one on his hip uh, bone down here that's like a fleur de lis. Only like the tribal is still kind of evident in that tattoo as well. So all of his are kind of a tribal look. He might eventually. I had a couple other ideas that I might eventually give him tattoos, but no more tattoos on this body because if I do him on this body, I have to redo it on his new body. So when I get his new body, I might give him another tattoo or so. Um, his let's see. The sixth question is, how has your doll evolved over time? Mostly his evolving has been in his character, and his face-ups have kind of showed his character development as well. His hair's gotten longer. When I first had him, his hair was only like right right to there, and then his wigs eventually got longer and longer and longer, and since he's kind of this freestyle artistic bohemian type, he wears his hair long, and he usually wears it down unless he's at work. He works as a barista as well, so he has to have his hair tied back when he does that. But um, his character, there's been so much character development, and his tattoos, um, those kind of developed over time as well as part of his character. I think he's like, I want to say he's the first that I've done tattoos on, but I think I might have done one on Alex before I did one on Sylas. So yeah. Um, Number seven is something that belongs only to this doll. Sylas, I finally got an SD sized guitar for him. This one is from Tata's Paradise. It actually has like a battery thing in the back with some demo buttons. I warn you now, do not do it because the songs that this thing plays and the noises that it makes are just really really ungodly annoying. But it makes a good in scale guitar for 63 or bigger because it is fairly large. So even for him it looks a little bit big, but I'm not worried about it because it looks pretty. He had like an MSD sized guitar before that, and it was tiny. So yeah, eventually I want to get him a Krabby Doll guitar, but that like nobody wants to sell those. And if they do, I can't afford them. So that would be like my ultimate dream is to have one of those for him. Um, He's really heavy into music, though. He's a songwriter, musician, so he has to have his guitar, and I want to try to make him a guitar case eventually too. So, um, And number 8 is how is he related to your other dolls? He's married to London, and so that makes Charlotte his sister-in-law. River is kind of like his brother-in-law. He was roommates with Charlotte and River before he lived with London, so they're like his close friends. Alex, he's known Alex since they were 10 and 11, so they're really close friends. He actually doesn't have any blood relations because he's an only child. So all of my dolls are just like friend acquaintances and stuff like that. He's also in with Lakota and Oscar's group and Ren. They're all really good friends too. Number 9 is your plans for this doll. Like I said, I'm gonna get him a new body, and I think that's gonna be the long sole, 63 centimeter, or it might be a little short of that, but then the long sole body is really perfect and aesthetic, and the look and everything is. I use that word a lot, aesthetic. I just like it. It's really perfect for his character, and it's similar in look to this one, but like better. So, and I think it says that the resin shouldn't be too bad of a match. So I might have to redo his face up if it's not spot on, but hopefully it's this nice olivey color. It says it matches Volks, and Volks says it matches Midgie, so hopefully it'll be around the right color and not too pink. Um, I plan to make him a wig eventually, or buy him a better one because this one's kind of like super shiny and really, really black. And I'd like him to have a little tiny bit of a brown tone to his hair in the sunlight because he is half Native American and they have really pretty dark, super dark brown hair. So it's not like black, black. Um, 5 quick facts about your character. Sylas works at a bakery as a barista, and he is also a musician songwriter. He performs at like a club that's mostly like folk and soft rock type music. Sylas, because he's born in March, is a Pisces, and he's very much a Pisces. If you read about like the Pisces character, he's very sensitive and he cries pretty easy, and he's just a very sweet person, so he's very Pisces. Um, he has a pretty rough backstory uh, involving drug use. He almost committed suicide at one point in time, so he has a very dark story for somebody who's very seems very mild. He has a lot on the inside that doesn't show on the surface. So he's a very emotional person. He was an only child, which I actually just mentioned. He's kind of a mommy's boy. His mom raised him mostly, and his dad, they got divorced when he was like 14, so his dad moved away at that point in time, but he did spend a lot of time with his mom, and he didn't have any other siblings or anything, so he played like he had all kinds of toys and stuff, and he played with his mom. Like he watched Sailor Moon with his mom and stuff that like little girls his age would relate to, like My Little Ponies and Barbies and stuff like that. He's like, oh yeah, I had that, and he's like, oh wait, maybe I should mention that since I'm a boy. But he did have some boy toys too, but a lot of stuff he got because his mother liked it. Like she thought it was cute. So he was very much into like some of the stuff that his mom was into. So he had a lot of girl toys. Um, Lastly, oh, I already mentioned this. I'm really bad at writing these facts down and then mentioning them before, but yeah, he is half Native American and half Mongolian. His mother is Mongolian, and his dad is Native American from the Shoshone tribe, and I believe they originate from Montana, Wyoming, Utah, like central North America. So he's from that tribe. I read a book when I was younger that had a girl from the Shoshone tribe in it, so that's kind of where I got that idea. It was by a local author when I lived in Montana. So he's actually from Montana, although his character currently like lives in Washington. So yeah, I guess that sums it up for Sylas. His video wasn't nearly as long as London's. I tried to keep it under 15 minutes. Oop, there's 15 minutes. So I will see you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching.